know, how did Imani Orphan Care begin? How did this happen and all these beautiful children come to be a part of our family?
It's a long story and an awesome one of how God called me to do this work. I was on a run in 2009. It was a rainy November day, and I remember God speaking to me very, very clearly, and He was saying, "Your happiness or the happiness of orphan children." It was like on repeat on my whole run. I really didn't kind of know what to think, to be honest. I got back from my run, and my pastor at the time happened to be at my house. I didn't tell him anything that God was speaking to me, but he asked if he could pray with me. Of course, I just said yes, and we were in my kitchen. I remember it being a really powerful time. He said, Kim, God's telling me, He's showing me visions of you working in Africa, caring for orphaned and vulnerable children. Really didn't know what to think. I wondered at that time if God even knew me, because that wasn't anything on my radar of things to do. I tried to ignore the call for several months. God started to bring me these dreams, and the dreams are still so vivid to me, of kids pulling at me and a real sense of desperation and urgency in those dreams. I wanted the dreams to stop. It was kind of like they were tormenting me, because I would have the same dream night after night. Finally, I just decided that, you know what, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna see what God has for me in Kenya. God showed me exactly where to go, and honestly, everything fell into place. It was really awesome, just the kids that I met on that first trip, hearing their stories and what they had gone through, and really the trauma that they had experienced at such a young age. I remember just the nights I would just be in the bathroom weeping on the floor, and it was like I was feeling the pain of these kids, and truly God was transforming me at that time to be able to take care of His children. When I returned back from Kenya on that first trip, I was completely changed. I knew I needed to advocate for these kids that I had been blessed to meet. So how do you do that? We set out with a group of volunteers, and we decided, let's do garage sales. Let's take unwanted items from people in North America and turn those items into education, food, housing, and meeting the basic needs of these kids. And that is really how Imani Orphan Care began. Imani means faith in Swahili, which is one of the main languages in Kenya. When naming the ministry, we named this after our daughter, Kennedy Faith, who was sadly stillborn in 2006. And truly the name Imani Orphan Care is honoring her. The reality is her life, even though it was so short on earth, really is bringing hope to so many kids in need. Imani Orphan Care started with a call from God, and it was pretty simple what He had asked us to do. We started helping other children's homes, and we actually set up a 24-acre farm for another children's home through garage sales. And then we were gifted Imani Home of Love in Iraq and blessed with 42 children. And then the 6 acres of land in Olengulo, and building a church and an outreach center and 2 water wells. God has taken us so far. We now care for 177 children, which is absolutely remarkable. And we are just so excited to see where God brings us next.
We are so blessed to just be answering the call of God and coming and working with children in Kenya. And God is giving us this beautiful orphanage, which, as you can see, nothing is impossible for God.
Welcome everyone. We're so excited that you're joining us for our Imani virtual fundraiser. We would have loved to meet in person this year, but hoping again for next year that we'll be able to meet in person. But The virtual is awesome. We can meet with people from across the world. Well, obviously we have people in Kenya watching tonight, and we have people in Canada, US, and even the Philippines. So we're excited that you've joined us. Some of you are watching in groups tonight, and that's awesome. We're excited that you've joined together, and some may be watching alone. We're just so excited that you're going to be able to hear the impact that you're making through Imani Orphan Care tonight. So we're going to start tonight with the early registration prize draw for those that registered early. And I'm going to pull a name here. We've got Lisa Dalton. Congratulations. You've won this beautiful Kenyan gift basket, and we will get in touch with you and get this off to you this week. So we always start our sharing just giving glory to God, because we know that we wouldn't be able to do this without Him. And being that we've had such a challenging year, we just are blown away again by all that God has done through your love and support to Imani. So we just thank Him. We know you're going to hear many stories tonight and highlights of the difference being made through Imani, and we just hope that you're encouraged tonight by all that you hear. And we can't believe it, but we're actually in our 12th year of ministry. It just is amazing how far God has brought us. So we just are looking forward to the years to come and all that God will continue to accomplish through Imani. I want to say a big thank you to our Imani Kenya team. You guys are amazing. I love you. We could not do this without you. Your day-to-day sacrifice is just amazing. And you guys know the impact that you're making because you're there and you see the kids, you hear the stories and the differences being made. But we just say thank you tonight for all that you're doing and the important roles that you play in this great work. And many of you watching tonight, you have been a part of Imani children and you've played key roles in their lives. And we just say thank you so much for all that you've done. We could not do this without your ongoing love and support. So we just really hope that you will see that difference. You're going to see and hear so many stories tonight that I hope that you're really, really impacted by all that you hear. And some of you may be hearing about Imani Orphan Care for the very first time tonight, and we say welcome. We're so glad that you've joined us, and we hope that you ask yourself these questions tonight. How can I get involved, and where can I make an impact through Imani Orphan Care? And we're excited about that. You're welcome to come along on this journey with us, and we know that you will not regret it. For the people that maybe haven't heard, and even as a reminder for those that have, Imani Orphan Care works in Kenya, East Africa. We have 2 locations. One location is in Narok. That is where we have our Imani Home of Love Children's Home. Now, this is where many kids receive care and full-time care. And we also have our community outreach program that we facilitate through this location. And this is for children that are within the town area of Narok that need a little more help with their school fees being paid and a little welfare support as well. So we do facilitate that at our Imani Home of Love location. And we also operate our programs for our secondary boarding school program, as well as our trade school, polytechnic, and our college and university programs are all operated through Imani Home of Love. And our second location is in a very rural part of Kenya in Olengilo, and it is really just a dry kind of in the middle of nowhere kind of spot that we used to go and just share the gospel under the trees there until God told us to build a church. So we have our Imani chapel there, and we're blessed by that, and we have an awesome program there that I'm super passionate about. It is our Imani Outreach Center. Now this is it is a day program, and it allows our widowed moms to be able to take care of their children with support of school fees and some hygiene support and food support. So this is a very important work, allowing these moms to take care of their kids. And because of the education that Imani offers, many of these kids go back, and we're seeing this result right now, and they're actually helping their moms come out of poverty because they're able to get jobs and take care of their families. So it is an awesome, awesome program for sure. We have also got a water well located on our Olengulo property, and that is to give the gift of water to the community. So that's kind of a few things that we do. And some of you maybe heard about tonight from our social media posts, and I hope that you're able to look back on those, because it really shows all that you're doing. And we would never have enough time tonight to talk about everything that your love and support is giving. So if you can look back on those and just really see the difference that you're making, I encourage you to do that. But even better, it's always great to hear from people that have been blessed to be on the ground in Kenya and serve with us, and to hear the difference that they saw through your love and support. So we're going to hear from some amazing people tonight, and we're also going to hear from our Imani social worker, Everline. She's going to share with you, and she's got a hard job, you guys, and some of the stuff that she has to deal with on a day-to-day basis is very, very difficult. So she's going to share some of those stories that have really impacted her life. We'll also hear from our Kenyan director, Pastor John, and Pastor Esther. They're going to share tonight from Kenya. And we'll also hear from, we could not do this without hearing from some of our kids. And you're going to be blessed to hear from Dennis and Ruben. They're just some of our young ones that are at Imani Home of Love. They're going to take you on a journey back to their grandmother's house. So you're going to be able to see where they came from prior to receiving care through Imani and becoming a part of our family. We'll also hear from one of our older boys, Peter, who is part of our outreach center in Olengulo. He's going to share alongside his mom, Margaret, the difference that you are making. And honestly, his story is awesome. And I know you're going to really, really be blessed by what you hear him share. So I'm excited. Let's get started. Let's not delay. Let's get this night going.
My name is Cynthia Soipan. I am in grade 1 West. I want to be an engineer.
Truthfully, I remember the time these small band of Maasai women gave their lives to the Lord under the blazing sun out in the bush. I'd actually describe it as a barren desert, but geographically speaking, it's actually open savanna plains with thorn bushes and metamorphic rocks. This joyous group of women proceeded to ask, "When will you build a church?" I then proceeded to ask him this very question. Little did we know the plight of these women or what God had in store. Thankfully, God knew. Fast forward 7 years to 2021. International travel opens up again. Kim and I travel back to Kenya on July the 10th, 2021. Within a few days of landing, we are welcomed and embraced by Pastor Frederick, his wife Irene, and the Imani Chapel family. Though there are obvious language barriers and not so obvious cultural barriers, God's commandment to love one another as Christ first loved us surpasses any insecurities we have to minister one to another. Encouraging words and tears of pain and joy were shed this day. All in one accord, we watched as the Holy Spirit ministered to the many widows and children that call Imani Chapel home. God never intended for anyone to live life alone and isolated. We naturally want to pull away from community when things are not going so well in our lives. It's not the buildings, but the people God brings together, locally and from abroad, to share in Christ's love, forgiveness, healing, grace, and joy that amount to community. These virtues of the Holy Spirit's work in us cause those in our community to grow and mature through praying, teaching, worshiping, serving, and holding each other and ourselves accountable. I'm a witness to the growth and joy in these widows' lives and the lives of their children. It has been an honor to have been welcomed into the sanctuary of their hearts. Surprisingly, it's very humbling to trust God during these special ministry times. I want so desperately to see God move, and I have. Psalm 147 verse 3 says, "A father to the fatherless, a defender of widows, is God in his holy dwelling. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds." Imani Chapel has become a life-giving community to the remote villages in the Masai Mara in Kenya. It has seen many changes over the years since we first shared, not only bread and milk, but also the gospel of Jesus Christ to the Maasai people group. With your continued help, we can continue our outreach work in ways that make a difference to the many Imani Orphan Care Foundation has served in Kenya. Romans 12 verses 4 to 5 says, "For just as each of us has one body with many parts, and these parts do not all have the same function, so in Christ we, though many, form one body, and each part belongs to all the others. We are better together than we are alone." Incredibly, ain't that the truth? We could not have done this without you.
My name is Daniel Mundala. I am in class 7, and when I grow up, I would like to be a neurosurgeon.
Hi, my name is Sue, and I am on the Canadian and the US board for Imani Orphan Care.
And my name's Warren. I'm Sue's husband, and we've been a part of Imani Orphan Care since its beginning in 2010. When Kim asked us to speak about sponsorship, it was an easy yes. Sponsorship is very close to our hearts. We have such a love for all the kids at Imani. We know them, many of them by name. And because we are unable to sponsor them all, we're here to speak to you. Our hope is that by sharing here tonight, we can encourage others to join us on this incredible journey.
In the spring of 2019, we had an amazing opportunity to visit the Imani Home of Love in Kenya with our two kids, Adam and Jolie. I personally will never forget arriving through the gates of the home, and there was this large circle of kids and Kenyan staff members all singing and celebrating our arrival. As we made our way around the circle, meeting everyone, I could see down the line one of our sponsored boys waiting anxiously for us to get to him. He had recognized us from the letters and pictures we had sent. He had this big, beautiful smile, and his body was wiggling in anticipation as we got closer. And when we came to him, he excitedly asked me, "Do you know me?" And instantly tears welled up in my eyes, and I responded, "Yes, of course we know you." I think for our family, we always sponsored kids because we knew we were helping, and that made us feel good to help. But in that moment, my perspective on sponsorship changed slightly. I went from doing this because it made me feel good to help to feeling like it was more of a privilege and a responsibility of ours to help.
Yeah, our family quickly realized that the kids at Imani Home of Love are just like our kids here in Canada. They love to laugh, they love to play, they love their hugs. They love the time we spend with them, especially the time, I'd say, just hanging out and just joking around, just, time with them. They have lots of hopes and dreams, the same as our kids have here. The difference is they just happen to live in a part of the world where they don't have the same opportunities that we have. That's where Imani's sponsorship program is changing everything.
We have had the privilege of knowing the Lee family as friends before Kim was even called to the ministry. So from day one, we've had that confidence knowing that the people operating this organization are compassionate, intelligent people with total integrity. From an outsider's perspective, we can tell you with confidence that we have witnessed firsthand the impact that the child sponsorship program has had on the lives of so many kids. We've seen the villages that these kids come from. They're malnourished, covered in dirt and flies, often without clothes. They're uneducated. We've seen the quick transformation that happens once they become a part of the Imani family. They get all their basic needs met: shelter, clothing, medicine, food, and schooling. They also get spiritual teaching. They get an opportunity to play, just be a kid without any worries. They're very well cared for by the wonderful Kenyan staff, and that staff is so much more than just a staff. They truly give the kids the love of a family.
Something that really touched our family was the absolute gratitude that every child has for their sponsors. They know the opportunity that has been given to them through the sponsorship program, and they do not take it for granted. They keep their sponsors' pictures by their bedside, and they actually pray for their sponsors every night. Not only are you providing financial support and opportunity for a brighter future, you're giving them hope. They are amazed that somebody across the world who does not know them cares about them and wants them to succeed.
As a board member, I see the financials and I know the behind the scenes of the organization. Imani Orphan Care is a very transparent organization. They're very good stewards with every dollar that's donated. Every dollar is accounted for and goes straight to the care of the kids. The Imani team puts a lot of consideration and prayer into every decision that we make. They do not simply see a kid through school and then be done with them. There's forethought and planning into their future, whether that be university or a trade school. It's clear that Imani's vision is to build great, God-loving leaders that will one day help change the lives of future generations in Kenya.
Our family had the privilege over the last 11 years of watching some of these kids complete that circle. We witnessed 2 kids at the Imani Home of Love become teachers and then come back to the home and help the kids with their schoolwork and even mentored them in other ways. We also had the opportunity to speak to some of the older children in the home. Many of them are so passionate about going on and doing what Imani has actually done for them to give vulnerable kids an opportunity to change their lives. We are confident that they will.
If you already sponsor children through Imani Orphan Care, thank you so much. We cannot express enough the impact that you're making. If you're considering sponsorship this evening, we encourage you to go for it. You will be changing a child's life in such an incredible way.
My name is Jaden Godino. I'm in class 8 South. When I grow up, I want to be an engineer.
I am Reverend John Igishegi, Director, Imani Home of Love, overseeing programs of Imani Home of Love here in Kenya.
My name is Pastor Esther John. I love the Lord as my personal Savior. My role here in Imani Home of Love is that I am the staff's counselor.
Imani Home of Love is a Christian organization whereby it takes care of vulnerable kids, these children, and also families who have needs in our country, Kenya, and we support them by educating these kids or these children and also taking care of their health by even providing food and also meeting their needs, and like sometimes we even construct houses for them and also buying what they don't have and what we feel can support them, like livestock.
The vision that I have towards this organization is to see these kids grow, mature, and also to get to know the Lord as their personal Savior, because at one time in life, everyone needs God.
I'm inspired by seeing life of children being changed from living a life that is miserable and coming up. We have some kids that were abandoned by their mother, and I want to tell you that we are very, very much grateful when you see them grow here in the home, and now they are living. This inspires a lot, reaching as many as possible, and I feel that I have to continue in this program. The other thing that inspires me is what God is doing through Kimri, who is our executive director in Canada, because this executive director, she encourages us every day. After 2-3 days, she has to call and know how we are progressing. So when there arises a problem, she's in with us. So this inspires me a lot, that I'm not alone in this huge ministry, but Kim is with us. And we have also donors who always keep on praying for us. This inspires me a lot.
What I know is that we all have challenges in life. And especially when I'm working with the staffs, because the staffs, they are also people and they also have challenges. Sometimes they have challenges from their homes and they come here to work with our kids when they are also stressed and they have problems. So when I come here and I share and they share with me and I talk with them and the experiences that they are going through, I thank God, because after sharing and after talking, they change. And so when they are coming to work, they come happy, because if they are not happy and they have challenges, they are also not able to help with the kids, who is our biggest agenda here in Imani Home of Love.
Imani Home of Love, we live by well-wishers, and we want to appreciate what our donors and sponsors are doing, because without them, as I have told you, we would be hopeless and we would not be existing. They have changed the life of so many kids, because come every year we are bringing in children here in the home, and they are the people who are giving us food every month. They are buying uniform for our kids. They are paying school fees for our kids. And so if they have not been providing for us, I think we would not be existing. So they have contributed a lot. And in fact, we want to appreciate all our donors because of what they are doing and our sponsors.
My name is Laisala. I am in grade 4. When I grow up, I want to be a doctor.
My name is Evelyn Dupisia. I'm the social worker in Imani Orphan Care Foundation. I'm also a guide and counselor to our kids. If I may share, one girl that she was raped back in the village. Okay, she was raped and then she get pregnant. Unfortunately, this girl is a total orphan. And then because you understand the cultural practices that is going back in the village, the girl was raped and then she get a child. Sadly, that child is a physical disabled. After 2 years, because of the challenges the girl had in the village, she got another pregnancy. Now she has 2 children. The girl is in a tender age, but Imani came into. They helped the child to get food. They give them monthly upkeep for the child. So I usually take food every month. You see, that budget is so expensive. We are asking the donors to help us, though you have been helping us. But right now the child needs to be helped, to be taken every month for her physiotherapy, again food. You see, it is really a challenge. We have another 2 girls from Loita. Imani has rescued them. They are about to be married at their tender age, around 13 years and 15 years. But Imani came into their life. They rescued them. Right now, another one in class 8, another one in class 6. So Imani has really done a lot to our kids. Back in the village, Imani has drilled water for the community. I know Olengulo village now, they enjoy your benefits, your support, that they have no shortage of water right now. Again, throughout the pandemic, Imani has provided food for the Imani children's parents and guardians. They have really enjoyed your help. I know many of them usually tell us that we tell our donors, you have really do a lot. May the Lord bless you so much.
My name is Daniela. I'm in class 6 Venice, and when I grow up, I want to be a journalist.
Thanks, Kim and Karina. I don't really even know where to start with explaining to you what life is like at the Imani Home of Love. I've been there twice. I've been privileged to be there twice. I look forward to going back many more times. When I was driving up in the van on the way to the front gate, I had butterflies. I was so nervous. I didn't know what to expect. And when we got through that big gate and into the courtyard, those nerves went away real quick. What an incredible place. The kids started pouring out of the classrooms, out of the dining hall, and we were flooded with hugs and smiles and high fives and all the things that take the butterflies away and make you realize you are in somewhere very special. It's a very special place. So really quick, we were able to kind of connect. I was able to meet my sponsored children, and then they took me to where they live, where their rooms are. Walking into the girls' dorm was something else. It was amazing. These rows of bunk beds, sometimes 3 high, with mosquito nets all over the place. And each girl's got her own bunk and this little cubby where she keeps her clothes. And they just, this is their pride and joy. They couldn't wait to show us where they slept, where they kept their things. Boys' bunkies, same area. And one of the things that was really interesting to me is while we were there was another child that was, a couple children actually that were rescued from their situations when we were there and brought to the Imani Home of Love. And the kids were willing to double bunk just so these other children would have a place to sleep. There's this sense of connection and community amongst these kids, just a knowing of what they've been rescued from. Devotions, I know you've probably heard us all talk about devotions time, right? These kids know how to pray, they know how to sing, they know how to praise Jesus, and it is unbelievable to stand in that room with these kids and watch them with their hands in the sky, singing, sometimes in Swahili, sometimes in English, the most incredible praise songs. We had the opportunity the first time that we were there to teach them the song Good, Good Father, and wow, that was unreal to watch these kids learn this English song and sing along and lead their peers in it. It was powerful, such a powerful experience. I can't say enough about what life is like there, but there's a few things that I have to say really jump out. First of all, there's a sense of community there. These kids have been brought from terrible situations and they have a place that they belong and a place that they're safe. The second thing that shows up is this underlying sense of peace. There's no question about it. God is at Imani and he loves those kids. And what Kim has put together is this beautiful opportunity, this beautiful place for children to be safe, to learn about God, to be educated, to get healthy food, and to grow up with a sense of feeling like they are safe, they belong, and maybe given an opportunity to change their culture. Another thing that, of course, Imani Home of Love, there is so much love there. My love tank was filled up. When I left there, it was like a mess. I was a mess. I was sobbing in that I felt so loved and like so accepted by these children who really didn't know me. I can't say enough about Imani. And if you ever get a chance to visit and go and spend time at the Home of Love in Kenya, I strongly, strongly suggest that you take a couple of weeks out of your life and get there. It will change you as it has changed me, and it will impact your life forever.
The situation is desperate in Kenya. There's an estimated 3 million children that have been orphaned. And 47% of those children have been orphaned due to AIDS, and many others to other vulnerable situations. To put this in perspective for us in North America, that is like filling 50 football stadiums full to full capacity. That's the number of children that are in need of parental care.
Mungu awabariki. Mimi sina la kusema. Isipokuwa tunipa shukuru tu. Hata kama ninaishi kwa nyumba ninajishindilia sina others. Lakini nashukuru Mungu mumenisaidia sana. Hata wakati wa corona niona kabisa nilishikiliwa. Nilishukuru sana kwa sababu wakati nilikuwa inaenda kuisha na sina kitu, niliona tena wamekuja. Nikashukuru. Kwa hivyo sikuteseka. Lakini unajua mtoto ikifika masaa kukula, hajui kama kuna shida. Kama juzi tulilala njaa juzi. Haya, jana nikapatiwa tungua chetu nyingine na jirani yangu hapa, nikaambia tulilala njaa. Akaniletea tungua chetu nikachamusha. Hata saa asubuhi nikawachamusha tukakula. Kundi wakubwa hawa wawili wanaelewa mashida. Lakini hawa wengine nikiona hao watoto nasema sasa wakilala watasema kama mama angekuwa pale. Hawangeteseka.
Yeah, God is so faithful and you continue taking care of you and your family.
Sijalipa nyumba. Mwenyewe alikuwa ananitisa pesa. Nikamwambia tu vumilia kwa sababu hata watoto wangu wamefukuzwa wako nyumbani, atanisiwa na kulipa shule na mtihani nafanya na hata wasifanya. Akaniona sana tutaenda. Kwa hivyo tunashukuru. Sina la kusema, nimeshukuru Mungu akiwa sana.
So Imani Orphan Care works in the community of Narok and Olengilo, Kenya, and that is primarily a Maasai region. So we work mainly with the Maasai tribal community, and it has been a blessing and a privilege to work alongside them. And I have to say, honestly, the most welcoming, most generous people that I've ever met in my life. And they are just a beautiful people, and they live off of their land, so they live a lot different than we do in North America. So it's a completely different world, honestly. They show their wealth with the number of children they have and the number of animals that they have, and they truly live off of the land. So if you were to ask a Maasai person how many animals they have, or that's kind of like asking them what's the balance in their bank account. So they really are proud people, but you just don't ask that question, and just respecting their tribal traditions and the way that they live. One of the things that we have encountered as a challenge with Imani Orphan Care is the practice of early marriage and female genital mutilation. And being that the Maasai tribe is a polygamous tribe, so the men have up to 5 wives, sometimes more, the girls are married very young. So age 10 to 16, these girls are married. They're expected to undergo female genital mutilation, which is a practice that even the Kenyan government is no longer allowing. So we've had girls come to us, 2 girls in particular that I can think of, Rona and Everline, they came from the border of Tanzania, and they walked the whole African savanna with the wild animals just to get refuge at Imani Orphan Care, because we are a safe haven for these girls, and we bring in many, many girls that are at risk of early marriage and FGM, and we bring them a different reality, a different future. They're allowed to get an education and find their way out of this cultural practice and become independent and able to care for themselves for their future.
Dom.
Dom? Dom yako ni gani?
Ya girls. Ya boys.
Ya boys. Ya boys.
Ya girls iko pande. Ya boys pande ile.
Okay. So utanionyesha mahali unalala? Achana na hii kwanza. Mpe huyo akushikie. Sasa wewe unalala hapa. Wapi? Vitu zako ziko wapi?
Blanketi.
Ndio tuende tuonyeshe chumba mahali unakula.
So it was a sunny afternoon and I was out visiting our Imani chapel in Olengulo. We had already drilled water and we were excited about giving this gift back into the community. And we noticed that we had some new neighbors, and so we set out to go and introduce ourselves and meet them. And that was the day that I met Peter's mom, and she was building her house because in the Maasai culture, the women do the building of the houses. And at that time too, Peter's father was living, and sadly since then he has passed, but he had challenges. It was very difficult for him to support his family because he was deaf and he was also blind.
My name is Peter Mitami. I am 15 years old. I am in grade 8. My dad passed on, leaving us in abject poverty. My mom is not in any job and had a rough time in providing us with basic need. The school administrations had always sent me for fees, and this made me discouraged and almost lose hope in life. It was hard to get what to eat, leave alone getting school fees. I prayed hardly and finally God answered my prayer by bringing the team of Imani Orphans Care Foundation, who really supports. I blessed and get a chance to get scholarship. They provided me with clothing. They paid school fees for me. They provided with food during Corona lockdown. Through all this, they revived my dreams in academic, and I am no longer discouraged.
And that's why we exist at Imani Orphan Care. We are there for those children. We're there to bring them into a family, to give them parental love that they would not otherwise have, to give them the care that they need day to day, and to provide them with an education as a way out of poverty for them. And we're just privileged to be a part of this. We're privileged to be in the position that we are to take in those children that are in need, that really are a total blessing to us, and we're just blessed to have them in our family.
My name is Cynthia Soipan. I am in grade 1 West. I want to be an engineer.
What a wonderful snapshot of what God is doing through Imani in Kenya. I had the privilege of meeting Dennis and Ruben when I was there the last time, and those boys are just full of life and love and energy, and to see them flourishing at Imani is just incredible to witness. The emotion from their grandma absolutely moved me to tears, and it just shows firsthand what the impact Imani is making. I also loved to see Margaret sitting so proudly next to her son Peter, and how eloquently he relayed the difference that Imani is making. And I say Imani is making, but God is making this impact through Imani, and that is something that absolutely inspires me to be involved with Imani. Margaret was one of the first people I met out in the village the time I visited there, and it's so great to see her and to see her son doing so well. Those women have it very difficult out in the village, and to know that Imani is making life easier for them, it blows me away, really. And the final snap on that video is of sweet little Soipan, and I remember her the first time you brought me to visit her at her home, and she was this dusty little itty bitty girl herding her family's 2 cattle, and just took a shine on our team and was ready, as you thought, to come to Imani and to see the difference. She's thriving. Her English is amazing. She seems to just have this passion to learn and to do more. So that was spectacular.
Yeah, pretty awesome. And I loved looking back at just watching the impact that Imani has had on so many people and people that have come to serve with us. Our kids love visitors. They love it when guests come. They remember every single person that's come to be with them, and they pray for them, and it's just a very special gift for them. So it was awesome to hear from some of our amazing guests. And they are now a part of Imani because they're now advocating for our kids. And then also from some of our staff, like that, it was just so powerful. And to hear the difference that they're seeing and their perspective as well was pretty awesome. So that was cool.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and my personal experience with Imani, I think, was a little bit backwards, actually. We decided as a family to go on a missions trip. We met you in the ball stands, and off we went. We didn't have any sponsored children at the time. The 5 of us, flew to Kenya. We're part of an amazing team, and we quickly became attached to the children and just glued on to the vision of Imani. It's amazing when you can see firsthand the difference Imani makes, and I think that this video virtual fundraiser shows a really good snapshot of that. The missions trip is designed in such a way that you stop at a mom's home of one of our Imani kids, and you see where the kids come from, and then you see the difference Imani is making and the opportunities that are presented to them. And it is like every guardian or single mom that we met is just so grateful. It's just phenomenal to see. So it just has inspired me to be an ambassador for these children. I feel like I have greater purpose, knowing that I can advocate for these children, and I also feel like I have a responsibility because I can't unsee and I can't unknow what I have experienced there. So I feel like it's my responsibility now to share that. And so I am.
Yes, and we're so happy that the Crop family made the trip, and that was in 2018,
It
right?
was,
And
yes.
we are so thankful because you guys are seriously making a big impact, and I know Imani kids love you guys and your whole family so much, so it's awesome. And we're just happy that people do come and they are impacted and they do come back and make a difference for Imani kids, because that's truly what it's all about.
Exactly. So, as you know, this isn't just a little evening of entertainment for you, right, Kim? Like, we're not just here to, hang out, even though we have a good time together.
Yes, we do.
We're here for a fundraiser. So, we just want you to just hear our hearts in this and know that every penny that you donate really makes a difference and an impact in these kids' lives. And the goal this evening is to raise $100,000. And sounds like a big chunk, but we know God will provide.
Yeah, for sure He will.
And we're asking you to participate with us in that.
Yeah, thanks so much for that. And a part of, we always like to share some highlights of the year. And wow, this year you have been a part of bringing 28 children into the care of Imani and part of our family. Is that not incredible?
That's amazing.
And I know, when I was back in Kenya in July, I kind of had a goal in mind of 14 kids, and I thought, okay, God, I don't know quite how I'm going to accomplish this big goal, but 28.
Wow.
Amazing.
Double.
We're so excited, and each and every one of these kids is just so special. They have their own unique story, and we are just so thankful that they can now receive parental love and care through Imani and our family. One of the boys that honestly really impacted me, and all of them did, but this particular boy really stands out for me, and his name's Obama. And I happened to be just working in my office one day, and It's a little crazy when I try to work in my office, I won't lie. There's usually lineups of moms and stuff and coming to visit. But I had a visitor from Japhet. You remember Japhet?
Yes, I sure do. Yeah.
And he's
my boy's really connected with him, actually.
Yeah, he's awesome. And he was actually, he got really good at skateboarding too and the sports. And I know he's just been a huge part of our family at Imani. Anyways, Japhet, he came to me and he said, I've got a request. He said, like, I came to see you yesterday, but you weren't here, and I had brought my cousin, Obama, and to meet you. And he said, he's in a lot of trouble and I need your help, and told me that, Mom, can we go to town and try and find him? I think I know where I can find him. So we basically immediately went to town and in search of Obama. Because how incredible is that? That one of our kids comes and he wants to make an impact, just like Imani has made an impact in his life. And that's what you guys are a part of. It's really, truly changing lives, making our kids give and make a difference and give back in huge ways. So we went first to meet with Obama's father, and he shared his challenges that he has had with his son and how he was turning to the streets and getting involved in drugs and missing school and getting pulled into the street gangs in town. And very, very, very concerning as a parent. So we managed to then track down Obama, and we got to sit with him and talk with him, and he was willing to make a change in his life. So that was incredible. And he really saw Japhet as an inspiration. I mean, how did Japhet overcome this? He was only 10 years old when he came into our care at Imani and getting addicted to drugs and this lifestyle. And thankfully, we managed to bring him in before that addiction got too bad. But that is the impact of your support through Imani. When these kids get parental love and care, you really are making a huge difference in their lives. So Obama is now part of our family. He's changing his life, and we are just so excited for his future. And Japhet even giving back, that's not the only child that does this. I know, Karina, you've probably heard the kids say stuff to you, and I've heard it over and over again. Some of you might remember Michael sharing his story last year. He wants to start his own children's home one day because he wants to give back the way that Imani has given back to him. So to me, that is the most amazing thing. And this is just so awesome that you get the opportunity to be a part of that.
And there's another aspect of Imani that really impressed our family as well, was that children don't age out of the program. Like they start in primary, they move on to secondary, and then as they are able and their grades allow, they either move to the universities or the polytechnic trade schools, which is so amazing. We are committed through Imani to encourage these children to go through the program, to be lifelong contributors in Kenya and to be self-sufficient, which is spectacular. We're not trying to erase their culture or their identity in their country, but to allow them to be contributors. And I love that. 43 children, I've heard, have graduated through the Imani program
that's awesome.
Since the start in 2010. And we currently have 177 in our care. That's amazing. The difference that this opportunity for these children, it blows my mind, and it makes me so excited to be part of it.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. 177. I can't even believe that number myself. But it's awesome.
Can you?
And just to see their future, and their futures are bright, so we're excited. I have a little update here. Many of you have contributed to Kevin's kidney transplant, and we just cannot thank you enough. We have been a little bit challenged, and We do need your prayers for Kevin and his family because initially we were having a doctor come from India, and she specialized in transplant surgery. She has a very good success rate, but due to the closures, we're unable to get her to Kenya to perform the surgery. So it's very discouraging, but we are exploring new options in Nairobi. There's a few hospitals that we are looking at going with. So this surgery is happening, but we really need your prayers. We'll continue to update you on social media, and yeah, just really lift Kevin up and his family, and just for encouragement and that this will happen soon. So we appreciate that.
Right. Yes, definitely we'll be praying for that. And a highlight this year at the orphanage was when the digging of the well. I loved all the updates that were on social media about that, and wow, to not have to have that big container filled every year, but now we actually have water on site from the ground. Never ending, always there. Just amazing.
It is awesome.
And as you can imagine, these children are so excited about this as well. And some of the funds for the well were raised last year during our virtual fundraiser. And we thank you all for those who contributed to that. And thank you for those of you who are continuing to support Imani through your support. But you know what? We can thank them. But you know what? We've got a better thank you for you. So we've got a little bit of a message for you straight from the kids.
We want to say a special thank you for everyone that donated towards the water well at Imani Home of Love Children's Home. This is going to help us so much. It's going to help us to have our garden. It's going to help us so we don't have to pay for water anymore. And it's going to help us just to be able to stay clean and have water to cook our food without having to pay for that. So we just appreciate this gift that is going to help us forever, because we're told that there's an abundance of water, that this water will never run out. So we are so very thankful for all that you have done and for being a part of this gift of water. Thank you for this amazing gift. Water is life.
Wow, that was so awesome. And being there with the kids, and they're climbing up the water tower, and they're so excited to thank all of you guys for this awesome gift. So that was great. I just want to talk a little bit quickly here about just, you know, how in Canada, groceries, everything's kind of increased, fuel. Same thing in Kenya, like it has gone a little crazy. So we really do need your support tonight to help meet these needs for the kids.
And you know, we exist for a really necessary reason. We exist to care for children that are at risk, that cannot help themselves. These children have been rescued from abuse, from neglect. Many of our children at Imani Home of Love have lost loved ones due to HIV/AIDS, and they've been orphaned and gone through trauma of watching their parents die. It's horrific to think what these children have seen. And something that really just has such impact on my life too is just thinking of these girls who are escaping female genital mutilation. Like girls from age 10 to 16 are at risk of being mutilated, and so some of them have fled from their homes, I understand, and so we exist to keep these children safe and give them a future. So the change for our Imani kids does start with you.
And yeah, when you stand with Imani Orphan Care, you're really part of bringing these kids from hopeless, desperate situations. And through your love and support, they're given tools to escape this sad reality. And you're giving them parental love, a safe, loving home, medical care, education, and all of their needs are met. So this is just huge, and we cannot thank you enough for all that you do and for being a part of that. You may be faced with a question right now of how can I help and how can I make a difference? And these are the same questions that I kept thinking when I started Imani Orphan Care. And I didn't know what use I would be, like what could I do to help these precious kids? But I'm so glad I said yes, and so thankful, because I just can't even imagine my life looking any different, and I can't even imagine not being there for God's kids. One of the greatest things we can do is caring for His children. So please make a donation today and make a difference for His kids.
Yeah, and if you're watching this in a group setting, or with your phone, just scan the QR code on the screen. There's also a link that you can click on if you're watching it on your laptop, and or you can send an e-transfer to admin@imaniorphancare.com. So just remember, change starts with you. So please don't hesitate to donate.
Yeah, and if you have any questions about our work, please don't hesitate to contact us. All the details are on the presentation page and on our website, so we love to hear from you, and don't hesitate to reach out.
We want to thank you so much for being part of this event this evening. Imani cannot exist without the support of people like you. So, and once again, these kids are just full of gratefulness, and they want to thank you for all that you've done and all that you will do. So thank you again, and have a lovely evening.
Dear Lord, I love you. 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 Thank you, Imani Fundraiser Kids.